now we're actually streaming on YouTube as well as motherfucking. We're streaming on YouTube and oh wow, really? No. Oh, we're Gucci. Beautiful. Nah, I love this. I love this. Let's fucking get it. Yeah, I'm a professional streamer now, guys. Let's fucking continue.
It's
what a fucking vibe. Stop playing with me.
It's going to be available starting July 28th, but we got the party set for August 10th. It's a brand new boat. Great, because last time we might have in the store, or I have a friend that actually bought a car, gave it to another friend that bought the car from him, but never took his name off the car. So what happened was the guy gave him the car, he's making the payments, he stopped making the payments, and it dinged his credit. He didn't even know. This is why it's important to also monitor your credit score at all times. So we're going to cover right now late payments. And look, it's simple. Make payments on time. Myron said earlier.
Yeah, man. One thing that I've learned in my journey of credit, and let's go ahead and take a nice sip of the motherfucking lemon water, and it's very important in life. Very important in life. Whew. Water just brings you back to life, man. For real. And lemon water is just elegant. It's just another level of fucking, how could you not appreciate a nice lemon water to just refresh yourself? But anyway, so what Fresh is talking about right here, so whoever came up with the system actually should do some research, because this is the answer I should find out. But whoever was the people or the person or the company who came up with the system of, the credit system that we know now, whoever came up with that shit is fucking brilliant, because it's really a way to determine if someone is trustworthy enough, because it's very, very simple. It's like your credit score is your adult score. Like, how much of an adult are you and how responsible are you? And that's why the number one most important factor that could literally fuck up your whole shit is to have a great solid credit profile. You need to literally have 0 late payments. 0 late payments, like, because it's that important to show how responsible are you to pay literally when you're supposed to, every single time, on time. That's what's most important with credit. So Fresh is on point with this one. You need to have those fucking on-time payments, and late payments will really kill your whole shit for sure. Let's continue, Fresh.
For the credit card, pay every single month. If you don't, you're going to be late on your payments, and it's going to affect your credit score. And actually, it lasts up to 7 years. I didn't even know that. So late payment lasts up to 7 years.
It could last up to 7 years if you leave that bitch on there. But if you're aware, you can actually know that reporting late payments on your consumer report, commonly referred to as credit report, which is not even the correct terminology, but on your consumer report, late payments aren't supposed to be on there. So if you have that knowledge and you have the references to the laws in the U.S. code that specifically say this, then you don't have to wait for no damn 7 years. Fuck that shit. Definitely not. But okay, Fresh, go. I'm gonna let him cook.
7 years on your credit history. And guys, it's just very simple. If you're gonna buy something, make sure you can afford it with your money off rip. We don't buy what we can't afford. People go buy travel destination tickets. They go buy lavish excursions, and they don't have the money in their account. and it's like, wait, hold on, you're using credit for money you don't have? That's an L. So be smart about making money. Sorry, how you spend your money as well. But the main thing is here late payments. And for most people here on the chat, if you want to make money and be successful, have a credit score, keep in mind making payments on time every single time. And I've been in America for almost 10 years now. I've not missed one payment ever in my life. And it's because, guess what, guys? I know if I make one mistake with a late payment, it messes up my credit score. So for you guys that made those mistakes in the past, understandable. But moving forward, don't make any more late payments once you know your score.
So the most important factor, there's multiple factors, guys, when it comes to your credit score, right? And the number one factor is on-time payments, okay?
Just said that. Myron is doing a great job with reiterating what I said. That's the top, literally most important factor. If you think about it, it makes so much sense. How much of an adult are you? Like, how responsible are you to take care of your shit? To know that you have obligations, you have responsibilities. You need to pay them by this date is what it says. So you pay exactly on that fucking date. It's so important. It's the number one factor.
I know some of you guys might not have your money on point like that, etc., but at least make the minimum payments. Pay something so that you're not late, because late payments by far is going to affect your credit score the heaviest. There's the two main ones are on-time payments and credit card utilization. We'll talk about that next.
Yes, with your personal profile, utilization is another big one. They say keep it, I think, below 30% or whatever like that. But really, you want to be around 10% or less. That's like the elite level when it comes to personal credit, from my understanding. You know, I'm no expert, but I have dibbled and dabbled a little bit, and I'm learning more and more and testing more and more. And credit, the world of credit is absolutely amazing. But yeah, I have learned that on my journey as well, that it's best to keep your utilization 10% or under, which is really hard to do, because what's the point of you having access to that much money if you ain't fucking using it? But that's what personal credit is. It's much different than business credit, which I'm getting into now, which is a whole nother ball game, in which utilization does not affect your profile nearly as much. It doesn't affect it all, because in a business, they want you to spend all that you have access to so that you can continue to grow that capital and keep paying the bank back. And fucking, they want to see that money going and you paying them back completely, and they love that shit. Personal credit, very different. Utilization is also huge. And like Myron is saying, and like I said, those late payments is the number one thing. On-time payments is where you want to be with that shit.
But on-time payments, guys, is super fucking critical. I don't care if, you know,
I like that word, critical. That's my shit right there.
it's the last like $20 to your name or whatever. Just make that fucking payment, the minimum payment, and then just work more hours and figure out a way to make more money. But you need to go ahead and make sure that you always make these payments on time, because that's going to affect your credit score the most. If you have a bunch of late payments, that's what's going to knock you down 50 to 100 points on your credit score. And that will drop you. That'll be the difference between you getting the loan and not getting the loan is on-time payments.
Yep.
Just so you guys know. Like, you can literally lose a home, right? Let's say you're under contract for a house. You lock in the deal. You're under contract, etc. You go to the bank. You get the loan, etc. And then, you know, something happens. They run your credit and they're like, oh, sorry, we can't guarantee the loan anymore. Boom, deal fails because your credit score fucking sucks. Now you can't go ahead and do that real estate deal. Maybe it was a home that you were going to live in. Maybe it was a real estate investment property. Now you can't get it because you decided to not make a payment on time for your credit card.
It happens, man. And guys,
very, very fucking true. All right, we understand that part now.
Life happens to us at all times as well. We don't know what's going to happen the next day. We live daily. So if you're worried about not making that payment, you can do auto payments on your actual credit. So for example, you can set up auto payments on your actual credits that you have. So it pays them every month automatically from your account. Because you might forget, hey, you know what? I just built a pay. I forgot about it. Understandable. But there's no excuse because there's auto pay you can use to get that as well.
Matter of fact, here, I'll give them a story.
Yeah.
So guys, like about, okay. For a lot of you guys, I kind of explained this in Council Club, but I'm not going to go into all the details. You guys got the real sauce in Council Club of how I run my real estate properties. But basically, thank you. I have a bunch of LLCs, right, for each property that I have. And what I do is I pay each mortgage for each of my properties through that LLC. And I had just set this up. So obviously I set them all up on auto pay, right? But for some odd reason, when I put the bank information, routing numbers, all this bullshit, some of them didn't properly take the money out, right? So I'm doing the podcast, I'm doing other shit, whatever. I forget. And thankfully Angie helped me with this. Some of them didn't get paid and end up being late. I was like, oh shit. And at the time I was under contract for a house. To buy a house. I was under contract. So this literally me being late on auto pay, like basically a clerical error for a number not getting put in correctly, that could have jammed me up. Luckily, my lender, the guys that I work with, I have a relationship with them, and I've been working with them for a while. So they were able to go ahead and contact these companies that were servicing the loan and say, hey, don't fucking put this on his credit report because it's a clerical error. It's the fucking because I had just done a transition where I was moving. I opened like 20 bank accounts in one day. So you guys know it's fucking annoying shit. Open up all these bank accounts, put in each routing number and each account number for each one. Some ones deduct properly, some don't, etc. You guys know how it goes when you enroll in auto pay for the first time, especially when you're using banks. It gets really annoying. But either way, so some of them didn't properly take the money out and I was late. And I was under contract for another house. Guys, one of the worst things you could do is be under contract for a house and like get another loan or be late on payments, because that stuff gets immediately reported on your credit report because they're running your credit multiple times while you're in the process of buying a house. They run it typically in the beginning, and sometimes depending on the lender and all this other shit, they might run it again before you close. So this came up.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm only a few minutes in, and this streaming shit is hard, bro. Yo, how do people really do this and sit in front of this camera like this, bro? For mad hours, bro. This shit is a job, bro. Holy shit. And I'm gonna need to be doing this shit for a few months before I start to see some real fucking traction in this bitch. Actually, no. I'm going to use my magic skills, and this shit's going to exponentially go up very fast, actually. But damn. It's like I gotta sit here and actually watch the video. Normally when I'm watching these podcasts, I'm mostly listening to it in the background and not really sitting there watching it. So like reacting to shit, sitting here watching it, it's crazy. Yo, bro, I'm just thinking of people like fucking Sneeko, these niggas fresh and fit. Like, damn. Bro, for the past like 4 or 5 years, just every day, damn near, sitting in front of the fucking camera for like 8 hours, dog. Like I had just said this, honestly, to one of my friends. Streaming is like fucking campsites for men, bro. It's the same shit, bro. It's the same shit. If you ever knew, let's say, or were involved with like a girl or you know, if you ever knew a cam girl, that shit is like a job for real. Like you need to be doing to really make the money. I would like peeping that shit for a little bit, seeing like my cam girl friend and shit, how it went. And for the time that I was peeping that shit, bro, it's like you got to be doing that shit for like 8 hours to really get any decent money, and you got to be consistent with it to even get the traction. I mean, the consistency is with anything, but just the understanding that you couldn't just hop on that bitch for a few hours and make the amount of money you're trying to really make it in a day. Like that shit is really a hustle. You feel me? Like that shit is really 8 hours that you need to be on camera for real, dog, which is a lot. And I'm just noticing because I'm over here looking at the time and I look want to end this shit already. And I'm getting bored watching this nigga Myron speak sometimes. Like watching it actually and not doing anything else. And this just making me realize, yo, this streaming shit is, listen, there's no easy way in life to make money. Like I could see like even let's say this shit blows the fuck up. I start making mad money off streaming, building my platform with streaming, getting a lot of traffic to all my shit that I'm doing with streaming, right? Like, bruh, I'm just realizing, like, bro, this shit is a lot, man. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you get it to that point, you get to just be yourself on camera for real, and you feel me, get a lot of, if you can get a lot of traffic and you can convert that shit into make money 12,000 different ways, you feel me, then fuck it. I mean, you just got to pick your poison in life. And I like the idea of streaming, and I'll just have to really craft, you know, what's gonna work for me, how I'm gonna share it with people, how I'm gonna like provide value, and not just making some dumb entertainment shit. But yeah, right now I'm just driving the point home that like, nothing's gonna be easy to make money. Everything's gonna feel like work eventually, and I'm just imagining this shit. I'm like projecting myself in the future. This shit is blowing the fuck up, and I'm just like, it's just gonna feel like a job, you feel me? But that's some Debbie Downer shit. Fuck it. We out here, we streaming. I got to figure this shit out pretty easy, pretty quickly, bro. I really like this shit. I like how Rumble lets you stream with Rumble Studio onto multiple platforms and shit. Bro, this shit is just fire. I really fuck with this. But let's continue. Little sidebar, little sauce on the side, you feel me?
So this came up, and luckily my lender I worked with him before. He called these other companies. When you're trying to do something significant in your life, could you fucking imagine? You got a girlfriend, you got a wife, you're about to build a family, you're trying to fucking buy a house, and then for some odd reason, your dumbass forgot to pay a fucking bill when you went ahead and got your braces, or you went to a dinner emergency room visit, and then it comes back on your credit score. Oh, I'm sorry, can't give you the loan. You put your earnest deposit down, etc., and you can't get this fucking house. Could you imagine? Or your fucking dream car, you finally get it. Oh my God, I'm gonna get this car. Oh shit, they run your credit. Sorry, you don't qualify.
This is why learning credit is so fucking important, and learning the laws and learning, how this world and this matrix operates, bro. See, I'm gonna start getting in my bag, and this shit's gonna be fun. I'm gonna really be on a whole different level with giving the sauce that I'm giving. You feel me? Because what he's saying is very true and all, but the thing is, it's illegal, and it's identity fraud on these fucking credit bureaus, which, much like the Federal Reserve, is not federal or a reserve. The credit bureau is not a fucking bureau or a government organization at all. It is a private fucking entity, much like the Federal Reserve. It's a private company. You know what I'm saying? So they have bureau in their name to make it seem as if they're part of the government and shit like that. And it's crazy that they're getting away with this shit. And the only reason why they do what they do is because most people are ignorant, and they literally pay out multiple millions yearly to people who actually know the fucking law. And the fact of the matter is, they're not allowed to fucking report your personal information without permissible purpose. I've been teaching myself. I'm not super versed in this in consumer law and shit, but I know a decent amount. I know enough to know that without permissible purpose, they can't just be sharing late payments and shit like that. So if you do get this shit on your shit and you do fuck up, just know that it's not clipped, and you don't gotta wait fucking 7 years. You can actually write your fucking letter citing the laws, and then you can send it with certified mail and shit like that. So they have to respond in a certain amount of time. They can't respond fast enough, and they either gotta pay you because they're going to be fined for reporting your information without permissible purpose, and the liabilities on them to produce permissible purpose in a written, consent, which they can't because you didn't give. And they have such short amount of time to produce that shit that they have to remove that shit, or they have to pay you, and they don't want to fucking pay you per time that they reported it. Who knows how many times they reported? Because I think they got to report every like 14 days or some shit like that. So, or every month at least, whatever. So they ain't gonna pay you for that shit. So they're gonna remove it. So it's not the end of the fucking world. But when you're building your credit profile, when you're focusing on building up your credit to keep it good, and to avoid having to fucking go through all these rounds of letters and shit like that, because they ain't trying to remove that shit off the top. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make you work for that shit, and I think sometimes they can be a bitch to really get that shit off. So, you feel me? Definitely to avoid it. Just know that the on time payments are super important, but it's not the end of the fucking world. and you could always create a new profile as well.
Happens every day.
Guys, if that could happen to me and it could fuck me up like that, thank God I had a good lender. He made the phone calls for me. I've done business with him before. Obviously, my credit score is fantastic, so it wasn't an issue. They didn't report it. But guys, this could fuck you up. If it could fuck me up like that, it's going to definitely fuck you guys up. All right? And I'm not saying that to brag or whatever, but I'm just letting you know, no one is immune from making payments late. You need to take this shit seriously, guys. Please. I don't want y'all fucking having fucked up credit because it's going to fuck up everything else in your life, man. I'm telling y'all, the United States is built upon credit. That's how it goes. That is literally your financial trustworthy score is what it comes down to. That's what banks look at. Are you?
That's a fact. How responsible are you? How likely are you to pay this fucking money back? That's what it comes down to.
Someone that we want to lend money to? If the answer is no, you're going to have a tough life, my friend. A really fucking tough life. Try building fucking wealth buying everything in cash. No one does that.
No, listen, Myron. The crazy part is that's been me up to this point in my life until I really started getting hip to credit, which I haven't even really utilized it to its full extent. I've just used it a little bit here and there, this, that, little extra things to help me. But I haven't even taken it to the next level, which is what I'm working on now, understanding business credit, understanding Paydex, understanding, the business credit side of things and how that works and how to use it in tandem with your personal profile to work together and really unlock the fusion of the fucking OPM magic, other people's money. One time I was on a flight, I was flying first class back, and I was next to this older white gentleman, and he was very rich, unless he was just talking shit. But he was talking about losing 2 or 3 million on a Tesla short or some shit like that. And I was just asking him, like, hey, what do you think about do you think you should try to get funded or get an investor, or do you think it's better to own fully and to build your shit up over time? And he would just like, oh, never. He's like, yeah, always OPM. You know what I'm saying? Like, all smart people. But it's funny because me, up to this point, everything has been funded completely out of pocket in cash. And that shit is just not the way, bro. And that shit is really just dumb, honestly. Like, you got to utilize credit, bro. That's just you have to utilize credit. That's what this shit is for. But you got to have your proof of concept, knowing that shit works before you go and get this credit and then fucking spend all this money, because you got to be able to pay it back. So you have to have your proof of concept and make the money ideally before for free. Even you have to put in money or a little bit of your own personal money. You have the proof of concept that shows you that this works. Then you can add the gasoline of the business credit and really take that shit to the moon. That's what we're in the process of building and doing right now. With myself personally, you guys are going to see the fucking progress live in action.
No one does that. Grant Cardone is damn near a fucking billionaire. You guys think he's using his fucking cash to acquire these assets?
OPM.
Robert Kiyosaki, you think these guys are using their own cash?
OPM, baby. Fresh B9.
Ken McElroy, these guys all control billions of dollars in real estate. You guys think any of these motherfuckers are over here shelling out their own cash to buy houses? Fuck no. They're using the banks. Okay? They're using the goddamn banks. They're using leverage. That's how you become rich in America, guys. All right? Look, I know some of y'all, well, I'll just be...
Bro, he ain't lying. He's telling the truth right now. Leverage and credit is how you become rich in America. Now, I don't want to be speaking from the perspective like I'm fucking rich, because I damn sure I'm not fucking rich right now. You feel me? I have my fucking ups and downs, and right now I'm working on the next building phase, and your boy is in the fucking trenches right now, finna make it out again. But so I'm not acting like, oh yeah, but observing the landscape and doing all this research over this time to understand and see, I was doing it all wrong.
Crypto, cool, buy some crypto, but it's a volatile market. Is it going to pay you dividends all the time? If it goes down, what are you going to do? People were jumping off fucking balconies here in Miami because Ethereum went down. I remember last year vividly. I heard a couple of stories in the news. Guys jumping off balconies here in Miami because Ethereum went down to like $1,000. Guys, we always tell you be diversified, right? But anything that you want to buy of real consequence, house, car, boat, whatever the fuck you want to buy, right? They're going to run your credit, man. You can't run away from it. They're going to run your credit. You want to get an apartment, they're going to run your credit. You want to get an apartment in a good area that's safe? You best believe they're going to run your fucking credit. Every time. Any building that's worth its fucking weight and that has any type of credibility is gonna run your credit.
Just after your point as well, it goes even deeper to car insurance. I got a friend that bought a he bought a Range Rover back in the day. We were working at AT&T, and for me to get insurance, he had to pull his credit. Well, guess what? His credit was terrible. It was like 390, something like that.
390.
He couldn't get it. So what he had to do was put it under his sister's name for
The
insurance.
hell did that nigga like just die for a year or two and come back like 390?
This nigga got.
There's dudes that are dead that got better credit scores.
So get this right. Homie had an accident on a motorcycle, was out of work for a little bit, and he got a check from the issue when whenever you get hurt, whatever you get checked for medical, whatever.
Yeah.
Use that money, bought a car, cash, which was not smart at all. Then once insurance, credit shot, couldn't get insurance at all. It happens, bro, and that's car insurance.
I didn't even know that it'll fuck you up with car insurance too.
100%. So credit affects all areas of life. And look, guys, listen, I get it.
I didn't know that.
The system itself, you don't have to like it, but you gotta use it to your advantage, man. Once you know the truth, you know the system works. Play smart about it.
Let's say you get the car by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah,
And now you can't insure it,
bro.
bro.
Mind you, this is why a lot of people drive in Florida without insurance.
Oh,
That's why too, because they can't have it. Bad credit. So that's
You
something
know what?
that
Another thing too.
Yeah.
That makes sense now, dude. No one is on their own insurance ever.
Nah.
They're always on other people's shit. But now it makes
family,
sense.
friends,
Mm.
sister, lovers.
Bro, could you imagine you literally buy a car cash and you think, yes, I got it. I beat the system. And then you go and you try to get insurance and they're like, nah, bro, sorry. Geico got you today, boy.
Yeah, I just remember like all the friends I had back in the day when I first came to Florida. They were so bad in debt, bro. It was tough.
Progressive.
Like, oh yeah. State Farm.
You better progress your way out this office, nigga. We ain't giving you insurance. Get the fuck up out of here, man.
Nope.
Yo.
And then just add as well to another story here.
Deadass.
So I was going to Wynwood for a party after one of the events that I had with my workplace. I was on my motorcycle. At the red light, it's red. Light turns green. I'm moving.
I'm trying to do it out. Oh shit. I'm trying to do an hour on this stream. It's a nice little fucking. It's like a workout. It's like anything else. You know what I'm saying? You need to push through that bitch. You know what I'm saying? You need to stick with the plan. And I'm getting a little hungry. I actually got to hit a workout and I got to fucking eat. The games are calling. But let's continue this shit.
Forward. A lady comes from the opposite side, T-junction, right? Comes from the opposite side, drunk with her friends, just runs the light, hits me head on. Boom. I fly this way, bike goes that way. I could have died right there and there, right?
Yep.
I was just like, yo, is this it for me? I wake up, like maybe 20 minutes later, looking up at the stars, and I'm like, damn, I'm still here.
It was 20 minutes. You timed it? Like, I mean, did you look at your watch or whatever?
I didn't time it, but like roughly that's what it was. He said I was out for like 20 minutes. The guy that was in the ambulance. So they picked me up, put me in an ambulance, and I was up for like a little bit, man.
You woke up in the ambulance?
No, I woke up outside the ambulance, and they were there like talking to me. Oh, you okay? They called the ambulance, and then they came.
Okay.
And then
so you wake up and there's a paramedic over you?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
So then we're going to the hospital, but mind you, I'm like frazzled. I don't know what's going on. I'm just like, oh yeah, shit, I'm here. You know. Long story short, I have my bills on auto pay. So back then, bro, I wasn't making that much money anyway. But having my bills on auto pay on my credit as well, even though I was out of it for like 2 weeks, everything was paid because it was on auto pay.
Yeah.
So like this happened to you guys. Like no matter who you are, you could have an accident.
You want to transition like I was, where you're moving all your shit over to a new bank account to pay stuff. Like,
health issue.
Shit happens in life, man, which is why you got to be ahead. And I am too familiar with this shit, bro. Sometimes you'll be slacking or some shit, and then the worst situation will happen at that worst time, and you just gonna be fucked up. So, I mean, this is why credit's really important too. I mean, so.
Something in the hospital, you can't.
No, don't be like me, man.
Be mentally there, guys. You need to do auto pay. Have to.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have any late payments at all. No excuse, guys.
Yeah, guys, auto pay is literally like godsend, bro. Because like, yeah, all my shit now, like I checked last month.
Yeah,
everything is good. I don't got to worry about that shit ever again because I put them all to the proper bank account. But like, yeah, guys, like on time payments, you got to do it, man. You got to do it.
And late payments are 35% of your credit.
There you go.
That's huge, by the way.
Yeah,
So
that's significant.
that's number one, late payments.
Yeah, late payments is number one. Quick word
Or
from
from our
our sponsor
sponsor.
real fast, guys, because niggas gotta pay their bills and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So you can make these on-time payments.
Yep.
What do we got here?
Shout out to Rumble, man.
Shout out to
Supporting
Rumble.
us. Council Club as well.
1775
All right, we're gonna talk about 1775 coffee. All right. So, all right, guys, it's time to say goodbye to Starbucks and say hello to Rumble 1775 coffee. Unlike other brands, this is coffee that backs free speech, is unapologetic about it. Visit 1775coffee.com. Use the promo code Studio40. All right, to get 40% off on any coffee subscription. The coffee comes in medium, dark roasts, so you could get it as medium as me or as dark as fresh. Pause. It also comes in peaberry, which is similar to a can of coffee. In other words, this stuff is premium, all right? Click the link in the live chat or the description. You can also go directly to 1775coffee.com and use the promo code Studio40 to get 40% off today.
Hey, shout out to Fresh and Fit, man. I'm letting your ad read go on my fucking shit, man. Now listen, all 1 viewers are gonna go buy that shit, dog. You feel me? Shout out your boy.
And as you guys know, we had Chris on and we talked about this, building a parallel economy in this world. Because as you guys know, when you make certain types of content, advertisers don't necessarily want to advertise with you, and advertisers are the ones that control social media and control these platforms. So we're giving them a nice middle finger back saying we don't fucking need you guys. So go ahead and support 1775 Coffee, guys. It supports Rumble, supports free speech, it supports.
That's a fact. Shout out Rumble. That's why I'm on this Rumble wave, because we finna get these fucking viewers up and I'll be reading these fucking ads myself.
Creators like us that aren't necessarily advertiser friendly, because if we want to go ahead and make the content that we're making, where I'm swearing at you guys for paying your goddamn bills, right? MasterCard isn't necessarily going to sponsor that, or that's why we have to give these niggas credit card with some free advertising, because they'll never sponsor niggas like us.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. We're going to tell you guys the sauce regardless of where us being paid or not. But yeah, I'm just coming to realize, bro, if you got like big deals and stuff like that, you're sponsored by Nike or whatever, you got to become a bot. You got to become an NPC. And we're just not willing to do that, man. So it is what it is, man.
That's a fact, man. The independent route is a much longer, harder route, but much more rewarding. You say whatever the fuck you want, do what you want. Come on Rumble and talk your shit. Say what the fuck you want. Shit is fire. Actually, let me test the toggling. Let's see what's up with this toggling shit. How do I actually toggle between the shit? Yeah, I need to know this in case I want to talk crazy so I can shut off the YouTube. How did they do that shit before, bro? Hey. Alright, now I got this bitch on Rumble only. Now let's see. What it looks like on YouTube. I'm just double checking. Just in case I want to talk crazy. And I can shut it off on YouTube. I'm just trying to check to see if it's actually off. That shit is not off. Good thing I'm checking, because the shit said it's off, but it's not. Oh no. We're gonna open it back up for YouTube. But that was fire. Nah, that's hard. I really fuck with that. Nah, I really fuck with that for sure. I just want to make sure it's back live on YouTube. I pressed the update, so it should be. Alright. Wow. Yo, Rumble's going crazy, bro. Shout out to Chris on Rumble, bro. This Rumble Studio and a lot of the different things Rumble is offering is crazy. Now, I tried to do the syndication thing where it takes my videos from YouTube and put on there, and it's acting funny. I don't know why. But we'll figure that shit out eventually, and I'm gonna be uploading all videos onto Rumble too. Rumble's another thing that I see is like very early, much like streaming, like I was describing before, as compared to doing short form content. How everybody and their mom, literally older people, even once it gets to like the older generation, that's how you know that shit is really next level mainstream, and you're no longer early adopter. I still feel like streaming is on the last phase of early adoption, and then um yeah, and also Rumble as well, because Rumble's competing with YouTube, so I feel like just posting videos on there, we'll see. I'm testing it now. This is my first day today, but I feel like just going live consistently and posting videos consistently, you should be able to get. It's less saturated. It's much less people, and I'm sure they want to push viewers to people who are spending mad time on there. You feel me? So we'll see about that. But yeah. The way that you could toggle between you could stream everywhere at once, straight from Rumble, and toggle that shit off, on and off, bro. Shout out to Rumble. This shit is goated for sure.
We're gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna swear at you guys. I tell you to stop being brokies all day, and whatever, fuck it.
But to be fair, some of you need that hard, tough love because if you're soft or nice about it, you won't do anything. So it works. But
I'd rather hurt your feelings here than you get your feelings hurt at the fucking closing office when they tell you, "Oh, sorry, bro, you can't give me this house, man."
One last thing though, this coffee, man, is life changing. You guys saw that stream I did last time with the coffee?
Yeah,
I was wired, bro.
It was actually
I was wired,
shit.
bro. This shit was lit. So.
If you make a lot of bad jokes, man, this might be the coffee for you, bro. Fresh actually said some shit. I was like, okay.
Hey, man, some dark humor.
Yeah, some.
Don't do it,
bro.
Don't do it. Come on, man.
I got. I have to.
Nah,
do it,
bro. Don't do it, man.
You really said dark humor, bro? Come on, bro.
I'm dark. Dark coffee. Anyhow.
Yeah. So anyway, what's the
These niggas are.
next one?
Okay. So number 2.
Bro, the sound effects. I need the sound effects, dog. I need the sound effects. I'm a streamer now and shit, dog. I'm streaming this shit. Oh shit, yeah. I need the sound effects. That's another fire one. The fucking transition one.
Cover as well. Not enough credit. So
Thin file error.
I didn't understand how credit works in America. I just thought you get a credit card, pay the bills on time. I'm gonna have 850 credit score off the rip. And then I was like, no, that's not how this shit works. So I got a book called Your Credit Score by Liz Weston. Very good book for credit. I recommend you read it.
Get into that 800, 850 range. You're gonna need the age on that bitch too. You're gonna need your average credit age to be like 5 or 6 years at least, if I'm not mistaken.
As well. And
Your Credit by Liz Weston?
Yes.
Okay. And we're not getting paid to tell you that either.
Well, from A to Z, how you build your score.
I never heard that book. That's fire, actually. I'm gonna add that to my note. It's always good to do research, and I have a note in my phone of books. Let's see. Yeah, I have a books and notes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. You said Your Credit.
From 0 to edit. I recommend you read it as well. And you're off the rip. And then I was like, no, that's not how this shit works. So I got a book called Your Credit Score by Liz Weston. Very good book for credit. I recommend you read it as well. And
Your Credit by Liz Weston?
Yes.
Okay. And we're not getting paid to tell you that either.
Well, from A to Z, how you build your score.
Put that shit in my notes. I'm gonna check it out. I know I have a pretty good grip on credit, pretty good understanding, but listen, guys, always be a fucking student.
From 0 to 850, 100%. Now, you need to have history, of course, which is why they have the history as one of the main cursors of credit. But also you need as well to have multiple credit lines open so they can see you're a good borrower, and you can also pay back on time as well with no late payments. That's going to be paramount to your success with credit. Now, granted, though, during this period of time, with the length of history as well, you need multiple accounts. So what I did was I said, okay, cool. I have a credit card now. I'm working a job. I can pay it off each and every month. I pay my gas, pay my groceries, I pay my food bills, all my other incidentals. I pay as well with my credit card. Cool. I'm getting points so I can travel as well back to Barbados' family, and I'm getting my credit score up as well. Now, what else do I need to build my credit score? I got a car. I could have paid the car off cash. A Toyota Corolla, 1992. I know, it's a really old car, but it got me from A to B. And the car was worth like $4K at the buy here pay here. I put like $2K down and $2K finance to build my credit up. So I did that, the credit card, and my phone. I bought credit as well.
So yeah, so there's actually literally a reason for getting denied that the banks have is known as the thin file error, and that's not having enough accounts like he's describing, and it's not having a proper credit mix. And what he's describing is having a different credit mix. He's talking about having revolving credit, like credit cards, auto loan. If you could have rent reporting on there, or maybe a mortgage would be even better, obviously. But a different mix of different, student loans, etc. Any personal loan, having a nice mix of multiple things lets the bank know that you have response, and obviously you're in good standing with all these things. Never missed a payment, literally ever, on anything. And you being able to maintain that with multiple different accounts like that really shows clearly that you're a very responsible person and you pay your shit on time and you're managing all these separate bills at the same time, which is, proof that you can be trusted with money.
I gotta pay the phone off as well, but I say, I'll put 10% down on the phone, pay it off over time. So I'm building up.
Purposefully paying for shit with credit over time to build your credit up. That's smart.
Different lines of credit I'm paying back slowly but surely, and each one I can pay off fully. I just want to build credit during this period of time. Now, granted, the longer I kept these lines open, I was paying them back, the higher my score went. So you might have just one credit line open, which is maybe a credit card, which is cool, but you need multiple. So this means definitely, guys, to get credit score
and
up.
preferably in different asset classes.
Yes.
So you want, a home one is going to be great. Obviously, your credit card ones, you want different lines of different types of credit. Sorry.
No.
Literally what I just said. He's talking about credit mix. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Everything that I'm saying, I see the point that they're going to say in the next couple seconds way ahead of time. I'm living in the fucking future. I really know this credit shit. This is letting me know I really know this credit shit because they are much further along with me with this shit. They're saying the same exact thing that I'm saying. You feel me? That just lets me know. And I'm knowing the actual term. What he's saying is credit mix. That's what he's talking about. What I literally just described. So I'm gonna fucking go give him my flowers.
But typically speaking, though, you start with a car, credit card, phone. That should be enough to get your boost off the ground running. And as well, guys, when you pay them off, you could guarantee your score is going all the way up. Could you pay off a huge, or I want to say you paid off 1 or 2 credit lines off your credit history, which is huge.
Yeah. So this kind of ties into what we talked about, utilization.
Oh, you did a lot in this shit, bro.
So what is utilization, guys? Utilization is the amount of credit that's available to you that you're using. Okay. So the two most important things when it comes to credit by far are on-time payments and utilization. So for example, let's say you get your first credit card and they give you $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, your first goal when you get that credit card for $1,000 is to, number one, use it. And then number two, if you max it out, that you pay it off immediately. Why do I say that? Because once you get over 30% utilization, guys, you start to become what's called risky to the credit card companies. And then once you go.
Another thing that I fucking said, your boy is on fire right now. 30% utilization. I was right. I wasn't even sure about that one. But that's still, because that's too close to the red line of what they want, I wouldn't personally do 30% utilization, honestly. Staying around 10 and under is like immaculate. And that's where you want to be. You want to be in that immaculate range so you can get that money on from the bank. They ain't going to question that shit at all. They're going to say, damn, he got access to all this money and he's disciplined enough to not even spend 10% of this shit. He must not need it. He must be cash flowing so much. Like, damn, 10% of his credit line. Baller alert. Give him the money on.
Over 50%, that's when your card might start declining. They start sending you messages like, is this fraud, blah, blah, blah. Because you start to become a higher risk spender at that point, right? And the chances of default are high. So credit card companies, guys, they got actuaries. They got all these fucking really smart people out there that have algorithmic mathematic equations that they use for how common or the likelihood of someone that not paying their debt off, because their goal is obviously to lend money, but to get that money back on interest. So if they don't think that you're going to pay them back, they'll shut the card off. They'll obviously reduce your credit card limit, etc. All this shit. They'll turn it off, whatever the hell, right? So with utilization, guys, your number one goal is when you get your first credit line open, try to get as much available credit as you can, right? Because you don't want that utilization percentage to be high. So let's say you go ahead and you get that first credit card for $1,000, right? And you go buy I don't know, something for yourself. You go buy something for your business. You buy a new computer, costs you $700. Well, now you're at 70% utilization. But if you had opened a couple of credit cards, let's say you open up another credit card for $1,000, another credit card for $2,000, etc. Let's say you got a credit line of $5,000, right? Combined between all those cards. Well, that $700 that you spent, that's a way smaller percentage now over your overall credit, and it's not going to ding your credit scores badly. Because once you go over 30%, that's when you're going to start to see like some actual decent dings into your credit score. So what I always suggest is try to stay under 30% utilization. If you're really God mode, you're going to be under 10% utilization.
Mhm.
That's that 10%, under 10% tip won't touch your credit score pretty much. That's where I like to be. But if you can't, just try to keep it under 30, right? And then,
Bruh, I'm on fucking fire, bro. Everything that I say, this nigga saying a few seconds later or like 20, 30 minutes later, because I'm the GOAT. I'm in the future. I know this shit. I know this credit shit. I've been studying this shit, man. I'm a student, man. Stop fucking playing with me.
whatever you do, guys, please don't go over 50. Okay? Because once
Jesus Christ. You might as well just fucking, you're fucked at that point. Like, you go over 50, what the fuck are you even doing? You might as well just burn that whole bitch out at that point.
you go over 50, that's when you really are going to deal with some like substantial credit score dings. And then the way to avoid that, like I said before, is obviously keep it low and make more available credit to yourself. There's a couple ways to do this. You can call your credit card.
You can get the credit limit. That's what he's about to say literally right now. You can get the credit limit increased. And the best way that you can assure that you're going to have the best odds to do that is by, let's say you get a credit card, your whole balance is $1,000. Now, you don't want to, the utilization, like we said, we want to spend around 10%. So that would be $100 or less is what you want to have on the balance of the card when the statement date closes. However, now you have that 30 days, you feel me, of your payment cycle. So you can spend the entire 1,000, and as long as you can pay it back in full or pay back 900, so that it's only 100 left on that bitch when the statement date is when the statement date, the closing date, right? As long as you have a 10% on that day. So if you want to get a credit, if you want to, let's say I really need a credit limit of 3 or 5,000, let's say, but they only started me off with $1,000. But now it will be smart to literally spend that whole balance if you could figure out how to liquidate it to yourself. You're gonna pay a small percentage fee, or you can just use your normal purchases that you do instead of your debit card, put it on the credit card so that you can spend the full balance but pay it back. Now, if you do that 2 or 3 times in a month, and you do that for 3 months, a lot of times you may be able to get it raised within the 1 month. But definitely, if within 3 months, you're literally each one of those months, and that's one of the cycles that banks work in, is those 90-day cycles. If you're letting that shit go, the whole balance and paying it off 3 times in a month for 3 months. So in that 3 months, you spent 9,000 and paid it back, and you still got 10% or less on your fucking when that fucking date closes, and you've been on time every month with keeping it in that range. When you call, you ask for a credit limit increase, they're gonna give that shit to you, because clearly it shows. You got to think logically about this shit. All this shit is super logical and it super makes sense. Like the credit, why they give you money, why it makes you trustworthy. We talked about that before with the responsibility factor of paying shit on time. That's what adults do and responsible people do, which is why it's a great way to test, because that's a huge factor. Where like responsible people don't spend the whole amount of money that they have because they know they may need it for something, you know what I'm saying? Or they know that they might not be able to pay it back, you know what I'm saying? So this system is really perfectly crafted, and logically thinking, if the credit line is $1,000 and you're spending it and paying it back 3 times in a month, clearly that credit line is not big enough for you if you're able to do that. And that's why it makes sense for them to give you that credit limit increase. And a lot of places will do that without giving you a hard inquiry. However, some places do give you a hard inquiry. You can ask them about that. But that's what he's about to mention right now. Just calling and asking for the credit limit increase. But the way to give you the best odds is, like I said, using that method. Spending the full amount, paying it back 3 or 4 times in a month. Like, do that for a few months. And it's a no-brainer for the bank.
car company right now, guys, by the way, and say, hey, or you don't even got to call them. You could do it on the app a lot of times. Another pro tip for you guys.
Sometimes you could do it on the app with some banks.
When you do get your credit card, guess what you don't have to do anymore? You don't need to fucking check Credit Karma or any of these guys. When you get your first credit card, guys, Capital One, American Express, Chase, the
Wells
Visa,
Fargo.
Wells Fargo, like a lot of these credit card companies, you know what they'll do for free? They'll let you track your credit score in the app. You literally just go in there, click, it'll give you either your FICO score or your
I believe
This nigga Myra said Pico. Oh shit, your FICO score. Myron, you funny. You a funny nigga. Your FICO score, ladies and gentlemen. Correction.
or your
I think it's Experian. I think.
and then
He said I think it's Experian. Experian is one of the bureaus. You know what's crazy? I thought Fresh was on that fucking wave, but the way he be talking sometimes, I don't know, man. He might really be on some square shit. I don't know. I thought that story was just a story, to be honest, but fucking, I don't know. He might really be top level.
there's FICO, and then you got the Experian, TransUnion, the three main.
No, he didn't say Transperian. Hold on.
It'll give you either your FICO score, or your
I believe that.
or your
I think it's Experian.
I believe it.
and then
Yo, shout out Fresh. Fresh is that nigga for sure.
there's FICO, and then you got the Experian, TransUnion,
Oh, he did say TransUnion.
the three main ones, right?
Yeah.
Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, right? And then you got the FICO one, which they're basically the same shit, bro. I don't want to confuse y'all. They're two different ways. It's the same shit.
So there's 3 credit bureaus for personal credit. The 3 main ones, there's actually like 6 or more because there's another level below the main ones. Damn, what is it called? Secondary bureaus or secondary data houses that house your data points, because we're in this matrix, and the only way that they track us and know about all this shit is by a few data points. And the secondary bureaus such as SageStream, Innovis, motherfucking LexisNexis, and public records, shit like that, they house your information as well. And that's how they verify your identity a lot of those times, is by checking with those secondary bureaus. They're also very powerful. They're like the deep state of credit. But the fucking regular government of credit is Equifax for personal credit. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Those are the main 3 bureaus. And the FICO shit is a little confusing, but from my understanding, FICO is a scoring model that different bureaus may use to like their criteria. It's basically like they give the bureaus like different data points to look at to help them determine if they want to loan you money. So he's saying it as if FICO is another fucking bureau, which it's not. It's more like a grading sheet. It's more like something for the bureaus to use as a tool to help them better, fight default and fraud and shit like that.
Really all the same. Like they might be 5 to 10, between 5 to 20 points different.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter.
It's not far off.
It's not that far off.
The reason why your scores will be different on different bureaus is because a lot of different accounts that you may have don't report to all 3.
They're pretty much damn near the same.
It's rare. It's not super rare, but some institutions only report to 1 bureau or 2. And so that will make your scores different on each bureau.
Same thing. But the point I'm trying to make is that you'll get access to it through the app. And then the app will tell you what your credit score is. So you don't got to keep going and pay for.
A lot of times on these apps, and this includes actually Credit Karma as well, they give you what's your fucking Vantage score, which is pretty much the least respected credit score. It's not entirely accurate. You want to get your actual full credit report and shit like that. You want to get the FICO score, actually, is what you want to get.
Paying for these services that tell you, we'll tell you your credit score like a Credit Karma. You just use that to get your foot in the door for free, see where you are, and then get your first credit card. You get that first credit card, get the app that comes along with that credit card, and then monitor your credit from there. You don't got to pay again. And it's 99% of the time is going to be free. And then, like I said before, you want to keep that utilization low, and you want to try to get as much available credit to you. Now, going back to the app again, you can increase your limit, guys, a lot of times on the app. So let's say you have the card for a couple months, you're making your payments on time, you're keeping your balances low, etc., or you make some more money. Go ahead and request an increase on the limit. that will be good for you, because what ended up happening, let's say you only got $1,000 on there's limit, say, fuck it, let me try to bring it up to 2,000. If they bring it up to 2,000, well, now that $700, it went from 70% utilization down to 35% utilization, right? And now you're under that 50% score. Or you could get it to 3,000, it goes even further down from there. So, but you guys see what I'm doing here. The more available credit you have, the more you can spend, where you're trying to stay below that magical number of 30% utilization. Does that make sense, chat? Give me ones in the chat that makes sense, guys. I know for us, this is like common sense stuff, but like I know for a lot of you guys, you might be like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? If you're not familiar with credit, this might be like another language for y'all. So
makes a lot of sense.
Give me ones if it makes sense. Give me twos if it doesn't. And then if it doesn't, tell me like specifically why it doesn't make sense. But what else? Did I miss anything there?
No, there's a hack you can do as well to kind of beat the system. This is very important because if you do this correctly, you can.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna mention about trade lines right now, probably.
Run up a credit card, pay it off the right time, and it won't report your credit history in a negative way. So if you know your statement date, whatever it's Chase, Wells Fargo, whatever company you use, right?
Oh no, he ain't talking about trade lines. I think he's gonna explain exactly what I was explaining about using the full credit line but paying it on time. Therefore, it doesn't close during the closing date. It never gets reported as if you spent 100% of your usage. What your usage that gets reported is what is your usage on the date when you make the payment, when your closing date. If you look in your app, each credit card has a closing date. It's like the day that it was open. That's the day you're supposed to pay every month. And pretty much you could, if you spend 100%, it's not tracked every single day. It only gets reported to the bureaus because they have to pay each time they report the shit. So every transaction is not getting reported. What's being reported is on your statement date, what's the status or screenshot of your account on that date. That's what will be reported. So you can have a day before your statement is due, before your due date, you could have 100% utilization. Pay that down to 100%. So all your credit line is available again to you. Pay the full 100%. And then the next day when your statement date closes, your utilization is going to show as 0. It's not going to show that you ever had that 100%. And that's what I was explaining before when I was talking about a way to get your credit limit increased as fast as possible. And I think that's what he's going to mention here.
The statement date, and they report to the actual history as well. If you know that actual statement date, guys, you can pay before that date comes up, pay it off, and what you do is you do this enough times, guys, and they're gonna say, okay, his history, he's paying off this high amount each and every single time, close to the actual, max numbers. So let's say you're making like maybe 60% of your credit card, capacity, right? And you're seeing it over a period of time.
I say spend 100% of that bitch and pay that bitch off 3 times in a month. Now, if you can do that, bro, as long as you make sure that that balance is 0 or 10% or less on the closing date, on your statement due date, then that shit looks so amazing to the banks. I'm telling you.
Paying off before the statement date.
It just paints a clear picture that clearly it's not enough money for you. If you could pay nobody can do that. Most people, like, they keep their utilization low, or even if they go high, then they struggle with it and it stays high or whatever. But who the fuck is paying their shit off and using it 3 times in a month? Like, that's just a clear. It just screams to the bank, like, give me you can trust me with more money. This is light work for me.
Because you can call them and say, listen, I'm using this card a lot. I'm actually close to the limit. I want to expand this currently to make a bigger payment amount on my credit card. How can we do this? And they're going to say, okay, let's look at your history. You're paying me 60% of this off each and every single time. You know what? We'll give you this boost because they can see the history of you paying it consistently over a period of time before the statement date.
Do the app first, and then if you don't get on the app or if you want more, call them. That's 100%. A good point. That's a good point.
So if you can do that, guys, beat the system a little bit, that's a good hack there. Once again, make sure you know your statement date. Maybe call them and say, hey.
That's nothing crazy, actually. That's just smart strategy, in my opinion. But, yeah.
When you report to the actual bureaus, once you figure that out, pay it before that date, whether it's 70%, 80%. Don't go to 90. That's kind of too high. Maybe 60 to 70%, anywhere around there. Then call them for an increase. They'll be like, you know what? We can see the history here. He's paying off on time. We'll give it to you.
Yeah.
And you could within 3 to 6 months of using your credit card. So
build up a little bit of history, but yeah, you can do it in the app, or you can call them if you want. If they deny you on the app, call them.
And you know what's crazy? In school, didn't teach you none of this shit, bro.
Hell no.
I feel like this is almost like common sense, but it's not, because people don't
bro
get taught this in school.
You want to know how I know?
We learned the hard way.
I look at how people pay when I'm at the store.
Yeah.
They almost always pay with debit cards or cash. And I'm like, fucking brokey, idiot, stupid.
I mean, even me, like, I was kind of like doing both, but then I met you. Was like, yo, bro, 100% credit card, man. And hey, we traveled to Vegas for free with credit cards. We did a lot of traveling to Romania too, credit cards. So like, it's a W, man, all over. All right, and the last two here, constant collection. So this is typical of people having credit, making payments on things.
Oh, say to them, we got some for you guys, by the way, that when you got really bad credit and you guys, we got some special for you guys. We're going to share it.
Some sauce.
Yeah.
That people pay for, by the way.
We're going to give it to y'all for free.
So typically people spend money and on credit. They forget about it.
If you get a closed off account, you can get that shit removed. You just got to know the fucking laws and understand that they can't legally report this information, so they're in the wrong. And once you know the laws and you cite the laws and you send the letters, you send a certified mail, and you back them into a corner, they got to remove that shit. Now those institutions, though, they're probably not going to let you back in, but it will be cleared off your credit report so other institutions can fuck with you. But yeah, that shit takes time, and you got to probably buy the letters from someone who knows exactly how to use them and get a good grasp of it yourself before you do it. But yeah, man, I just wanted to get to an hour on the stream, which I did. So we're going to sign the fuck out. I'm going to keep going with this shit. And this is just a little test. We're just going to keep getting crafty with this shit, but this is the first rep. I know what the fuck going on, baby. Keep tuning in. See you next time. Take over the fucking world. You feel me? Let's get it.